I felt like I wanted to die. Up until recently, I've never think anything negative of it. And I still don't. Like when the paper released and people are saying all these things, and I'm saying, it wasn't like that. I gave love and I get a prison sentence. That's what happened. I remember when I went downstairs in that courthouse and the door locked. Oh God, I feel like I was in hell. My spiritual dad, he said, you're gonna go to prison. He said, you didn't answer what God told you to do. I didn't know what to do with myself. I just closed down and I was numb and I couldn't say a word. I was sentenced to 10 years.
We go through life not knowing what others are going through. We walk by them daily, not able to fathom the depths of the struggle they face. I am Tamara Gordon, and this is Tea with My Sweet Gratitude, a safe space where I'll be having unfiltered conversation with ordinary people with incredible stories and life experiences. Not only will I be speaking with others while they share their story, I am privileged to share my remarkable story of motherhood, wrongful imprisonment, and the wisdom I've gained and the journey to self-love. So stay tuned to this channel and let today's conversation begin.
Sweet gratitude shining down on me.
Hey guys, welcome to Tea with My Sweet Gratitude. I am your host, Tamara Gordon, and today I have the pleasure to fly to Dallas from Connecticut this morning, and I am just at heart, just sitting here with dear future wifey, a man that I wanted to talk to for a long, long time. I'd watch him for years and admire his strength and how vulnerable he can be, and I feel like if I'm going to share my first episode with the world, I want to be as authentic as I possibly can and allow myself to be vulnerable. So thank you for having me here today.
So my name is just Dear Future Wifey now?
Oh,
it's not Laterrus Whitfield?
You know,
Okay. I'm Laterrus Whitfield for all y'all. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the Pod Society. She's my first client here at the Pod Society. So thank you so much, Tamara.
don't pay me no mind. I'm just nervous. That's
I understand.
all.
So let's chop it up. So I'm glad to have you here. So how things going with you?
Things are going great.
All right. So this is your first episode. So thank you so much for having me as your first guest. That's extremely important. And I take it as an honor.
It really is for me as well. So thank you. It's a pleasure. It's all mine.
So what is your story?
I'm a pastor. I have a broken woman ministry, a prison outreach ministry that I'm very passionate about.
So what connected you to the prison ministry?
So what connected me to the prison ministry is my imprisonment. But first, I have a vision about it many years ago, but did nothing about it.
So you said your own imprisonment. What happened?
So I was wrongfully imprisoned in 2018 and went to prison for 10 months and 3 weeks.
10 months and 3 weeks.
10 months and 3 weeks, but I was sentenced to 10 years.
Wow.
Suspended after 1, followed by 5 years probation.
5 years probation.
5 years probation.
And what did they wrongly accuse you of?
They said it was larceny, and in the trial document, they changed it and said it's larceny in the way of embezzlement. So they themselves, they themselves don't even know what they're charging me off. But what the thing is, I was working for a gentleman who was very fond of me. He and I enter into a love affair, and happened for quite some time. So he was giving me a lot of money to do different things because I have a distribution company that he was a part of as well. He have some percentage in it, but along that I was doing a nursing agency and he was helping me with the paperwork. So he was financing it as well. Mm-hmm. So he and I grew closer throughout the years, just building on different
years.
things.
How many years were y'all dating?
Well, I start working with him.
So you were working with him in what capacity?
So I went to his house to take care of him.
You were a caretaker.
I was caretaker.
Okay.
I was starting up my agency.
Okay, home health agency.
So someone called me about a case. So I said, let me take it. It was in affluent neighborhood. So I said, let me take it because it was a great case. And so I went there to check it out to see if I'd like it. So he was just released from the hospital with pneumonia. And he wanted his home caregiver, his home, because they have a caregiver there that was taking care of his wife. However, I stayed there for 3 weeks with him, just on and off, just on the weekend, just help him till he get better. He get better, and then he asked me to stay on as full-time. I mean, the price was right, so I said, let me jump to it, even though it was like a hour away from the house, but it was a weekend. It was well worth it. I worked there for a couple months. Then he and I were just talking, just help keep his company. You know, with a sick wife taking care of him, his children, they didn't help him much. I didn't even know them the first couple months of being working there with him, but I hear him talk about them, you know, but never really met them. So they were not present. However, he and I become very close. You know, he used me for like comfort. And same thing here, was just getting out of a relationship that didn't serve me well. So he and I bonded, you know, just sort of keep each other company.
So how old was this gentleman?
He was Haiti at the time. And
He was 80. Black, white, was
It was
that?
white.
I was a white guy. Oh, that's why they charge you with some things.
Yeah, it was a white man. It was a lawyer as well.
Oh, really?
So I couldn't even rob him if I wanted to. He was smarter than them and the judge put together. You know, he teach me everything I need to know about business, and that's what it really was. He wanted to help me in every way possible. So it was like a job, and I was on training.
So he was investing in your business. Y'all had a relationship. Y'all were business partners, or was he just investing?
No, so we were business partner in Go Merchandise for a short period of time.
Okay.
And then on one Christmas, he just gifted me some money, and I buy back the 20% share that he owned in the company. Also, you know, he would buy stocks or teaching me how to do it. And sometimes he would ask me, what do you think I should do? And he would buy, and if it did good, he will just share the money and give me my share. So
good.
It was a
relationship.
It was a great thing. It was the best one I've had, really. Like, he know how to take care of me, and he did it very well. So people look at it like it's a dirty thing. And I think it was just beautiful for me. Though when they think about relationship, they're thinking about one aspect, and they don't have no clue. Because what they're thinking about, it's far from it. But it was just really, really, really beautiful.
How long did this love affair take place?
So it started in 2010, right off the bat. I started there January, and by April, it sort of changed into something, you know, different.
Yeah.
You know, what seemed like a lovely companionship turned into a beautiful friendship, and it evolved into something.
Walk me back to when did it change? Was it a kiss that changed it?
It wasn't the kiss that changed it. So we used to retire in the evenings that I worked there into the library at night.
Library, he had a big old mansion or something?
Oh, he had a mansion.
Oh, you talking about library. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful home. I have my own suite and everything. It was just beautiful.
So you would live there?
No, I would go there only on the weekends.
But you had your own suite?
I have my own suite.
So was his wife was still alive?
So she was still alive. So
Okay.
his wife stayed in the room across from him, downstairs.
So they had separate rooms.
So they're separate room, and it's been like that for years.
So they were both sick?
Well, she was sick. She was the sick one. He was not.
Oh, so he wasn't sick?
No, he was not sick. He was still taking care of his affairs. He did all his things that he needed to do.
See, I was thinking that you were his caretaker and he was sickly and they may have charged you with elderly abuse or something.
So I went there for the 3 weeks to help him through the pneumonia because he want IV administered. Now, when he get over it, I think that was 3 weeks, he asked me to stay on as his wife caregiver. So I was helping with the wife, not him. He was running around, going to the country club. We were having lunch two times a week. He was very active.
What did they charge you with? You said larceny.
So the son himself, so here's the thing. The son write an affidavit, bring it to the police that he suspects
That you're stealing money from?
So I'm stealing a credit card that I was an assigned user for.
Oh,
for years. The same credit card, use the credit card to do whatever. The bills were being paid, and that's what it is. It's nothing more. He came there and asked me, "What's going on between you and my daddy?" And I said, "Why don't you ask your dad?" And I step off and leave him there.
Yeah.
And then I quit. I left. So I left. 2 weeks passed. I returned back to work. And that time he said to me he was going to work on his will or do whatever he was doing. He was an active person. If you couldn't find him, you could go on the first, second, or third terrace. It was a big yard. He was there. And, we would have nice lunch, champagne, you name it, just there. He would just do nice little gestures like that.
And the son didn't like that when he found out about it.
So here's how he think they find out. The other girl that was working in the house.
Oh, she snitched.
She didn't like anybody that worked there. I don't know what was her disposition, but she did not like anyone. So people were leaving left, right, and center, even before I, got there. So she was the one who was going through his checkbook and talk about every day he was giving me checks.
He was giving you a check every day?
Well, when I was there, for one thing or the other, he would pay me, but he would
So he would pay you by the day?
So he would pay me for the weekend, but also he would just write me a check.
Give you money.
If he was seeing me for lunch, he would ask me what the needs are. He would just do stuff.
So you say, I want the audience to know numbers. Will he give you $100? He give you $500, $1,000? What's he giving you daily? She looked at me like 100. What you think this is? She looked at me like, don't you ever disrespect me. It ain't no 100.
He wasn't doing that. As a matter of fact, at that time, my pay for just the 2 days were over $1,000. So,
But then what would he give you?
It would vary. Sometime I'd go there Saturday morning, and there would be a check for $10,000. It depended, it'd go more.
So the little tips is more than your work. He's giving you more as, here, babe, here's some money, more than what he pays you for your 2 days, right?
Absolutely.
How much you think he gave you as in gifts? How much you think he spent on you?
I just don't remember the figure. I don't want.
You're just so used to it. He buying you whatever you can think of. Did he ever buy your car?
What he did early on in the phase, I was going to work one day and I crashed my Jaguar, totaled it, and he bought me a Volvo to replace it because that's what I wanted at the time. So he did.
You went from a Jag to a Volvo?
I did because I like.
Crash my Jag, he gave me a Volvo.
At the time, I've driven a lot of different cars, and I just wanted to.
You want a safe car? Because
I wanted a safe car, yeah.
Yeah, Volvo's are known for safety.
He's the one who suggests that a Subaru or.
So get you a Volvo. You can crash a Jag, but this is a safe car, baby. This is a real safe car because clearly you can't drive. So we gonna get you a safe car so I can see you tomorrow. So he got you a Volvo, and then so the whole time you were in love with this man.
I love him.
What your friends say about that? Did you keep that to yourself?
2 friends did though. They just thought that it was just. I was just lucky to be in that situation. They didn't think of it as negative either because they know the situation.
And you're from where? You're from Jamaica?
Yeah, I was born in Jamaica.
And so when you say your friends, are those your friends from Jamaica? Or?
No, friends that's from here. One particular friend, he used to send me a box of truffles every Monday. I did not.
Monday.
I don't like chocolate, but it was a very expensive box of chocolate.
He said, baby, I don't like chocolate, right? Can you stop sending this?
I don't like chocolate, but he would send me a box of chocolate, probably 6 pieces in there for like a couple $100.
You told the chocolate that expensive?
He would send it to me from this place in New York. I don't know where to get it from.
And you would just give it to your friend?
I would.
You'd be like, I do not like the chocolate. Girl, get
no,
the girl.
I don't like chocolate, but I've developed the taste for it because it was so good.
Yeah.
Instead of putting them out and it just melt. So sometime, send me a bottle of wine, or I'll take away a bottle of wine, and I would enjoy it. Just their thinking, because it was really wonderful.
You got a chance to experience that level of life.
It was nice. We were going to the country club for lunch. We were having lunch this place, that place. It was, I think. It's a rich white town.
Yeah.
Until I started working there was no liquor store in there. So if we wanted to go purchase liquor would have to go in the next town. So that's how
It's the next town.
That's how rich the
Neighborhood was.
The neighborhood.
They didn't have liquor in the town.
They didn't have liquor in the town, so it was
They said, "That's a poor man's
village
game."
market, stuff like that. But
It's like, we don't have liquor here. It brings down the community. That's what they did. So they said they had to go, have bootleg liquor, somebody's backyard or something. That's a different lifestyle. You got a chance to witness a different lifestyle.
I really did, and I was taken away by it.
I can imagine.
So up until recently, I've never think anything negative of it, and I still don't. Like when the paper released and people are saying all these things, and I'm saying, what are they talking about?
You're like, I didn't do nothing wrong.
They're calling me all sort of names, gold digger, the new Anna Smith,
and Nicole Smith.
Yeah, I was like, what the dickens is this? Where did they get all this from? It wasn't like that. I gave love, and I get a prison sentence. That's what happened. That's
gave
the real
love and got a prison sentence.
that's the real crime that take place. There was no other crime that take place. The love allowed them to just hate me without a cause because they did not know me. So they went to the doctor, they formed a coup, they did the whole 9 yards, and that's how they really get an arrest warrant. So all of those things were presented. So when we're saying, okay, then prove that he had dementia, they could not. So they said they were going to strike it from the court record. They're not going to use that anymore because they couldn't prove it because he was not sick and have dementia. And then in the closing, they use it.
Really?
Yes, and I was convicted on that.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
So they took it away at the very beginning as
They
initial
took it away
evidence.
because they could not prove that he have dementia.
Did you have an attorney?
I have two from two different law firms. Yeah.
And your attorney let that happen?
I mean, listen, it was a white neighborhood. We didn't stand a chance. I was guilty the day I walked into that court.
Yeah, you sure was.
So when I start pulling the document and looking through them and the stuff, and I'm reading, they did not even have a warrant to even pull credit card report and stuff like that, but yet still it was allowed in the courtroom. I went to prison on a hearsay statement. I know the man that I know would never, ever do something like that. So they said he allowed it. He didn't. They couldn't prove that, and a judge still allowed that. So it was a hearsay statement. That's all they have. Credit card that I was using, the same credit card that I'm allowed to do, the same credit card I've been using for years to do whatever.
Really?
Yes.
So why you think they did that? Because that don't even make sense.
First of all, my understanding, what I think of it, they were after money that he was giving me. But so they bring it up, and the judge said, I can't allow that. She didn't write those checks herself. He wrote those checks.
This episode of Tea with My Sweet Gratitude is sponsored by My Sweet Gratitude Cosmetics, your go-to for affordable luxury that celebrates your healing journey. With quality handmade products made with rich, creamy, moisturizing ingredients and a special customized blend of herbs that will leave you looking, smelling, and feeling absolutely beautiful. As a listener of Tea with My Sweet Gratitude podcast, you could enjoy a 10% discount by using code T at checkout. Visit our website at mysweetgratitude.com. Thank you for supporting Tea with My Sweet Gratitude. We will see you soon.
How did you feel sitting there in the court of law and watching them make a decision outside of what you and Mr. we'll call him OM, Mr. OM was permitting? Like, this is y'all's relationship, and you know what the truth is, and they're demonizing you, villainizing you, and criminalizing you for, like you said, for your love relationship. What did that feel like in that moment? Did you, when you first started, you feel like, oh, I'm gonna win this?
So when I just started, I thought, okay, I'm just gonna go to court one or two times, and then we're gonna throw it out. 2014 was when this happened, and the trial was 2018.
4 years?
I went to court. This day we're asking for that. We're asking for this.
4 years?
4 years worth of going to court every month. Amount of time I went to court, and it was every month. I was present going to court. plea guilty. They want me to plea a plea deal. I said, I'm not pleading guilty for something I did
What was
not
the plea
do.
deal?
Plea for, said I used the card. I didn't say I didn't use the card. I used the card.
So he said to take the plea deal. The plea deal is what? What were they offering you?
I don't even, listen to me. I black out every time I hear that. I just said, listen, don't come to me with that nonsense. I don't want to hear it. I'm paying you to defend me, so defend me. And I didn't want to hear it. So I didn't care about no plea deal. I didn't want to listen to it. And they agreed to. They didn't want me to plead guilty either.
So you went to court for 4 years.
4 years.
And you got 10 months in prison?
I was sentenced to 10 years.
And you only got 10.
Suspended after 1, followed by 5 years probation. When I was growing up, I hear Erie say can't enter into the court of law. As a matter of fact, that's the only thing I know about court. And I was convicted on an Erie say statement. So I went to appeal court. I won the appeal. The 3-judge ruled that it's only 2 persons privy to these conversation is OM and OM.
Yeah.
And 1 OM passed. And so what are they doing? As a matter of fact, if I let you listen to it, you'd hear it looked like the state of Connecticut is in trouble. They rule. I won. I did not get a fair trial. So they order a retrial. Because we could have filed the appeal on different levels. We have a lot of different things to file an appeal on. And if you know anything about appeal, you know how slim the chances are
you have to be granted.
And I won. It wasn't even a long decision. I remember I was in my Jack and Jill closet the day when my appellate lawyer called and said, because he won, and I cried. I was listening because I know she said the verdict came in. I'm going to hear what the verdict is. And I was listening to one song, The Voice of God.
That's my song.
I was listening to it.
Dante Bowe.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was listening to the song over and over for the 10 minutes.
That's my song.
That I wait. That's my song. It healed me.
Oh.
I tell you. And it was so powerful to me when she called. I didn't know what to do with myself. My spiritual dad, prophet, he said, you're going to go to prison.
He told you that?
He told me that. He said, you didn't answer what God told you to do. So to have visions about the Broken Woman Ministry, I've seen my name 2 different times. Me for the Broken Woman Ministry. I did nothing about it. I was running from it. I was more involved in what OM and I were doing, and I was chasing that. And he said, but it's to build you. But they know that they're going to wrong you. All of them. And the world will know that too.
I'd be like, if you don't change that prophecy and tell me something better,
I
do not want to go to prison to learn nothing.
I cried. I did not want to go to prison to learn nothing, but I did go to prison.
So how was that, your first day in prison? When you walked in there and they closed those doors on you, did you feel like God failed me?
I remember the sentencing and my daughter, and she stand there and she said, don't take my mother away from my brother. So when they take me in the back and the guard, she rests her hand and she sort of slightly hugged me because she watched me come there all the time, so they know me. And she said, just continue to fight. And I remember when I went downstairs in that courthouse and the door locked. Oh, God, I feel like I was in hell. And then there was a woman in there and she was high as a kite. And I'm in there with her and I'm saying, what is this?
Yeah.
I remember because it was in Norwalk. Norwalk is close to New York than where I live. And I was passing my home. And I was going. I felt like I wanted to die. I just closed down and I was numb. There's girls talking because there was things separate some. 5 on this side, 5 on the other side. And I couldn't say a word. The whole 2-hour ride. I felt like a part of me was dead. But when I went into the prison, and the door closed. And I was in this big room with like 30 other ladies and some sitting on the floor. I was standing there. I was wearing a gray suit, and a light gray shoes, a dark gray suit, and a light gray suit. And I was wearing a fragrance that I was designing at the time, and they were just compliment how beautiful it smells and how great I look. And everybody keeps saying, "What's she doing? She don't belong here. She don't even look like, you know." And I just sort of locked them out. But I was breastfeeding, and my breast started to fill up. So there was a phone on the wall, and I ran to the phone, and 3-minute call, and I hear my daughter and my son crying, and my mom trying to comfort them. They're crying, and it was like a lot of people just trying to comfort them. I remember I slide down where I was to the ground, and I said to God, "Why am I here? You know, I don't." And I tell him, "I'm not serving a God like this. I can't serve a God like this, because if you call me to serve you and you're doing this to me, I cannot serve you." In that moment. And I cried and I cried and I cried. This guard, young guard, he said, "Come with me." He take me where they would take the shot, but he put me into a room and said, he didn't close it or anything, it's a cell. He didn't close it. He said, "Just take your time." He couldn't stand there with me by himself, so he went and get another lady, and he just stand there and said, "It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay." And I waited in there for like hours and hours and hours to be processed. When they're around 4, 5 o'clock, and in 2 a.m, they're still doing that, and it was rough. But the worst part about that is when they ask you to take your shower, wash your hair. Now, then I hear these things and bend and cough and don't let the soap drop, but never quite understand what it meant.
Yep.
And I was standing there, 2 ladies. One was clearly a lesbian, and I was so uncomfortable. She was telling me, "Lift up your breasts like this, do this like that." And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, get through that. The whole bend and cough and take a DNA because now it's a felony. They did that, and then they walk. I sat there, and then the segregation, a prison within a prison, was the next place over in that intake area. And I saw this girl, they're just man-angling, like cameras on her, like a real life situation. And like 10 guards, some holding her, they're doing this, and camera on her, they're videoing her, and she's screaming and she's carrying on like that. And I'm saying, "Oh my God, I'm gonna die." And then they walked me over to the A&D, which is the medical. Now you have to stay 3 days in there before you get placed in a dorm. I was in that room with a lawyer. She was my top bunkie, and a whore. And I remember she was talking about how it's $10 for this and $20, and I'm so disgusted. I'm saying, like, what is this nonsense? And I said, "Would you just shut up?"
You said that to us?
Yes, I was so frustrated. I needed a place to put the anger, so she was the
she
get
target.
that. The whole 3 days, I can't tell you how much time she and I get into it, but she know the prison rules. She said, "You knew, you didn't, they're going to just send you home. You're going to go to 0 North." And she was telling me where I was going to go because she know the rules.
She know it. She's been there.
Yeah, she said, they're going to send you there for 1 day, and you're going to get transferred over to industry, which is not on the prison ground. And just like she said.
Everything happened.
Just like that. So now I went back to the maximum security prison.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So why they put you in maximum?
I don't know what the politics there.
Was your safety threatened? You didn't get in no fights with anybody?
Oh, I did. So my bunkie, she was a child molester. And she was in there the second time for molesting the same boy. She was just going on and on about this little boy, and it just was really
Grossed you out.
disgusting to
Yeah.
me. Like, how could you hurt a little boy? And here's the thing, because she was white, for a crime like that, she get 18 months. And then came back on the same crime, the same boy, another 18 months, and they call it time out. Now, me in prison for a crime that did not occur,
10 years.
sharing the same room with her, 10 years.
With a grown adult.
With just imagine that, the politics.
Ooh.
It's just, that
Oh, I
was
bet
just.
you was hot.
I was hot, so yes, I wanted to punch her in her face.
And you did?
One day I decided I was going to go to SAG, but she was going on, and I just pinned her on the wall, and I said, if you ever open your mouth in here about, I said, and I was so frustrated. I said, I can't have a picture of my son. I can't do this, and you're talking about a little boy like that, like, yeah. But it so happened a nice guard that really was fond of me. He was working, so nothing came out of it.
So you just pinned up against the wall. You ain't.
I punched her, but she didn't. she didn't report that. But I really wanted to beat her up because I did.
You said she
So.
reported. You just punched her one time.
No, she pressed the bell, and when they.
So you said you wouldn't even pin your son's photo up on the wall?
I did not want to keep my. So
Yeah.
they send me a picture of my son, and I send it back in the mail.
Really? You would send it back?
I send it back.
Why would you just put it under your pillow or something?
Put it on my pillow so she could go touch it. I didn't want her to see my son. I didn't want her near to him. I didn't want him to be in the same
room with her.
I didn't want his picture in no prison. I didn't want any of that. They have picture of family. I did not want that. My daughter, I have a family visit once there in the 10 months I was there.
Did you tell him not to show up or something?
I did. My daughter show up.
So answer that, because I hear people that do that. Why would you not want your family to come see you?
Do you know what happened after they leave and you're going back? No. I don't want to bend down and cough and no woman look up under me all the time. I just did not want that.
Oh, so when they leave, they strip search you again.
So after they go through the doors, they have you wait, you take off everything, you cough, and it's degrading.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I remember she showed up, and it was a nice visit. She was crying, but she wanted to be there. And I have a list, because I sent out the visitation list, because they want to come, because I have an amazing family who want to support me. For instance, I just could not do it. Oh. I just blocked them, because when I did that time, the visit alone was really
good.
Sad after she was walking that way and I was going to go that other way.
So you tell me, so it doesn't give you a level of reprieve to see a loved one in a place where it's painful. It don't make you feel better. And I know it's hard when you walk away, but it doesn't give you for that. How long is that visitation? An hour?
So in that moment, you feel great. As I said, the visit was awesome.
But you just feel worse when you walk back.
And after she walked that way, and I didn't know if they were going to do the same to her, I said, I will not put her through that again. Because the thing what people don't understand, they did that sentence with me.
Yeah.
On Tuesdays when I didn't call because we were locked Tuesday, my mom, she would lock down too. So her whole world died that moment. She suffered. So it was really...
It was very heavy on her.
Oh, it was. And, my sibling, they said, I'm the favorite child. It's so because we're best friends.
Yeah.
We talk. So my mom, she was a designer, and I take that up. So we would sew things together. And I was doing my clothing line. I was trying to all of these things.
Your mom lost her best friend.
She lost her best friend, and I lost my best friend. So the first call I would make in the mornings there, it was her, and then the last one at night. So I would call my children in the, just because I know that they were okay. So she lost her friend, her best friend, and I lost mine. So they take that away from her. So it wasn't just me that suffer, and they're still suffering.
You said they're still suffering?
They're still suffering.
Why you say that?
They do, because to watch me hurt and try to pick up the pieces, because it's not easy, because they realized it's when I came home from prison is when the sentence really started for me.
Why you say that? Explain that.
The stigma that came with that.
Oh.
So I fall into such a depression, and I couldn't go out in public and still have trouble doing that.
Because I forget, you were all in the newspaper. You were all on the news. They had your face everywhere in that town.
Mm-hmm. So I had a vision, just like I did before, and he said, be still. What I didn't know is what I'll do in those moments when I'm being still.
Yeah.
That was a challenge for me.
Hi, I'm Tamara Gordon, and we are inviting you to be a part of our growing community of strong, resilient women. Follow us on our YouTube and TikTok channel at Tea with My Sweet Gratitude, and don't forget to listen to us on all major audio platforms at Tea with My Sweet Gratitude. Subscribe, and you will never miss an episode of empowering story and healing wisdom. So join me with a cup of tea as we embark on this journey of gratitude, healing, and hope together. Thank you.
So how bad did it get? Like while you're at the store, what kind of looks? Would people say anything, call you the N-word, or call you how bad did it get?
It's up until recent, I could buy 2 items in the store. Like I could go in for something because I would want to. I was in counseling for that. But I couldn't stay long enough to check out.
Really? Wow.
It was rough. I would walk into the store, pick up strawberries for my son because that's his favorite. And I would want to go and get something else. And it's outside of the aisle I'm talking about because I don't like to go grocery shopping. And I would leave. I would put it down and leave to come up, and I would go in the car and I'd cry. It was so bad.
When I say thank you so much for sharing that, because you just don't know about, here I am celebrating like, oh, wow, you're free. Everything's great. But when you said the stigma that comes along with it, the fact that it was a high profile situation by you being in the newspaper, I forgot about that. I forgot what it must have felt like going back into the public. And you're saying that your prison sentence started when you got out because now you have to try to get a job. What did you do for work?
Try to get a job. Who's going to hire you with embezzlement charges? No one. No one. But even my distribution company, I couldn't operate under that. And I am a great seamstress. I used to wear stuff like people wanted, so I started my designing company. People would want stuff. I could not sew. I could not do even the things.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
It's the sadness. So I live on the side of the house they'd call the pair, which is a suite. It's huge.
That's what they have for the nannies to come in.
Yeah, and then
the au pair.
Yeah, so my son and his father wake up one morning like regular my mom, and they were gonna make breakfast for me because I'm still coming back and be nice. And they were in there and they were laughing. It was nice for them. They were just laughing. It was so loud. I remember when you get breaks from, come out of your cell and you're there in the room, it's loud. I remember I pick up the garbage bin and I throw it on the glass door. And then I realized I need help. I'm falling apart.
Give me your hand. Yeah, just keep talking to me.
Yeah, I realized that I really do need help. And I said, I can't do this. And I start seeking therapists, just
That's good.
one after the other, because I didn't feel safe to go to my pastor or anything because they talk. Because the place where I was there, they're the one who scrutinized me more than anything else. And look at her. She acting like she's all that and she's rich and she's that. Because they look at me like that. And she's a prisoner. Those are the things. And so I was hurting. Didn't have that to run to. So I started seeking help, and they would prescribe one meds after the other. I would sleepwalk. I take shower in the hot water because my thing is so hot. Get burned because I was taking a shower because I have a history of sleeping at night, so I have to take something to sleep. So it sent me into a tailspin, trying to heal from all of that, make it worse. One psychiatrist after the other, one therapist after the other, and it just make life worse for me. So it was rough. So, how I survived, people want to know. It's my daughter. That young girl was forced to be my mother and take care of me. That don't make you feel good either. So, when people ask me about her, she's my pride. She's just an amazing child that she could do those things. And when I said that, they still suffer, because she does, because it's a big responsibility.
One thing I want to say, I just want to edify you. If I don't look like what I've been through as a person, that would be you, Tamara. The way you walked into this studio, I seen no residue from the pain, the anguish, the mismanagement of the law. I didn't see that in your life. When I talked to you on the phone last night and how you were a little afraid, a little insecure about doing this interview, I didn't see all that. It was no different from anybody that may be afraid to do an interview. I didn't see that. But to know that you've been through that and you're still standing, a part of me wants to cry, and another part of me wants to just clap my hands for joy, because I'm proud of you. I'm proud that you've been able to weather the storm. You've been through the fire and you don't smell like smoke. I'm proud of you because you're able to stand as a mighty woman of God and still do exploits in his name when you felt like he failed you. But now, as a minister, you're saying that you're going to wave the bloodstained banner and bring people to Christ. In the moment where you felt like God had deserted you, when you went through the moment of when they locked those cell doors, you're like, I have a problem with you, God. Why would you allow me to go through this? And what you said earlier was that it was prophesied that you were going to go to prison. Like, who wants to hear that from a prophet?
Oh, it was a sad moment.
And then I'm still supposed to serve God? Like, no, prophesied that they're going to try to accuse me of this and I'm going to get off.
I didn't know how to serve him. I did not know how to serve him.
So what made you come back around to that?
So, in prison, actually. So they'd ask, how did you survive in prison? Because if you know me, you know that I was going to die there. Oh, the sheet was green, like the ugliest green. Ooh. And I don't sleep on colored sheet. I only use white sheets, white towel, and I change my sheets every day. Now I'm here with sheets that I have to sleep on. You only get 2 pairs, like, oh God. And when I found out that I couldn't call my mom and she sent me a sheet, then that almost killed me. That's my first sentence, the death.
What you mean? You thought she could send you some sheets?
So when I was in the Indian, I ran to the phone and said, I need some sheets. I can't sleep. And so I said, okay, where does she send the sheets to? And they said, she can't.
You can't just pick up your sheets. You can't just.
I didn't know that. I thought you could have stuff sent to you. I don't know what world I was living in. I don't know. But you asked a question like how. So in prison, I checked out for me, and I walk into someone else. That's the only way I could survive.
Who was that person you checked into?
That was Pastor Gordon. I checked into her, and I stepped away from Tamara, the proud, overzealous. I have a few dollars, and you know it, girl. Stepped away from her, and I checked into her, and I was helping ladies. Oh, I couldn't sit still in myself. They would come and knock me. I was trying to hide away from them. They want me to counsel with them. I started doing something called Sister Standing Strong. I
love it.
I was the glue.
Yeah.
They'd call me mommy, this and that. because they couldn't come and see me, my people would buy me a lot of books because I like to read. So I would have them buy books and I would just give to people. I was like, yeah, it was my thing. I found something there, and I was
found purpose.
I was gonna survive, but it's the same purpose that God wanted me to walk into, and I didn't walk into. But here's the thing: the first night I lead 2 ladies to Christ.
Good.
And then before I left, 98 ladies.
You gotta give me some.
That
you gotta give me some.
Yeah, that
you
went to
gotta
Christ.
give me some
so
tomorrow.
Now I know I was on something. I said, how? So out here I was in church, playing church, and
now you're in prison. You in church for real. She done had a whole revival up in prison.
I said I was going to church every day, looking good, smelling good, looking like getting dressed up till people start accusing me. Oh, you're dressing up for the pastor. You're doing this. You're dressing up for the deacon. I was dressing up for all sort of broke man, and I was not into that. So.
For the broke man.
No, for real. They weren't,
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm just being real.
And so you go to prison in this gray jumpsuit.
Oh,
and
no, it was a jeans, blue. Oh, Jesus
It
Christ.
was jeans?
And maroon t-shirt. And I don't wear jeans. If you know me, my son don't even wear jeans.
Wow, what's your problem with jeans?
I don't like jeans. How it feels.
You don't like the texture?
I don't like the texture. And
Are you autistic?
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
Because you might want to check and see, because like a lot of times people don't like certain textures
I like
and colors and
I like fine fabric on my body.
you just bougie, huh?
I just like to feel good.
I like to have silk. The Bible speaks of me with silk and satin, and that's all I want.
I do. I want nice sheets on my bed. I want to feel great.
And so you got those prison sheets and almost had a conniption, huh? You was like,
I did.
You was like, this is not 1,000 thread count.
I cry. 1,000 shred count. Oh God.
She's like, Mom, can you send me some more bedding?
I cry.
She
want to find out, how are you? I said, can you send me sheets in 15 minutes? And I find out now from the guard, you can't get sheets there.
Can't get no sheets.
God, I went back to the cell. I hold my head. I was mad. And then they feeding me stuff that I don't need, because when you're in the end, you can't buy commissary yet.
Yeah.
So I didn't eat for 3 days because I said, I'm not eating this nonsense. And then I'm going to just die. And then I was in the shower one day when it's count time. Oh, Lord. And the girl said, you can be in the shower when it's count time. I said, well, I don't know this. You think I'm a seasonal prisoner? Just leave me alone. And I said, it's like so bad. How am I supposed to know this? Don't be in the shower when it's count time. Nobody tell me. I didn't get a manual on how to do prison. So
she said, leave me alone.
I said, leave me the hell alone. I can't spread my bed because I don't have a fitted sheet. It's too flat.
She don't have a fitted sheet.
I don't have a fitted sheet. It was 2 flat sheets and I couldn't spread it. I don't know how to tie it like they do. So the whore, she taught me how to. The same girl that I was cussing the whole time. She said, let me show you. And she made my bed. She make it so tight at night. And
he said when you were cussing out the whole time, she helped you make your bed.
And then we were good after that. Every food I get, I just give it to her because I wasn't going to eat it. We're besties.
What if I told you that your darkest trauma are the gateways to the deepest form of self-hate, but through it, you can find healing? Would you believe me? I am Tamara Gordon, and I help women through their most severe challenges with the power of empathy and sweet gratitude. As a wrongful convicted woman, I survived prison only to find my greatest calling to date. After mentoring and ministering to hundreds of women behind bars, I realized that there are 3 critical things my dear sisters need to become whole: love, safety, and most of all, community. Join me and hundreds of other women on this challenge. I will send you 1 sample email each day with 1 action to take, and if you stick with me, I guarantee you your life will change. The Healing Heart Challenges is a safe place for women who are determined to reclaim their position at their homes and community. Join me today and let this transformation begin.
Do you ever keep in contact with some of those girls you met in there?
I do. I have a prison ministry, so I
Good.
have a letter writing and book campaign that I do.
Yeah, you got me emotional. And we got to wrap this interview up before I be on the floor crying. Because you done messed me up. I don't even know how to get my life back together. I just don't. I don't know what I'm going to do. I just don't know. I used to do prison ministry for the longest. When I was like 18, 19, I would go into this in Palestine. It's called George Beto Prison. I would go there. Even after that, I would go to youth detention centers, Henry Wade, right up the street here. I would go there every Sunday, have Bible study with the kids. I've been locked up before, but it was like 36 hours. That's about all I could take. I said, y'all got to get me. This crazy.
Tell me about
you walk in there, you be sick because they're not in a rush for anything. You just in process. You can spend a whole day just getting processed. That's in jail. That's in Laterrus, and I was like, this is crazy. I mean, I was like, you feel a bit of your soul just leave you because you're saying that.
A bit of it.
Yeah, it's
all
a whole
of
lot
it.
of it. I'm trying to keep it.
Oh.
Yeah, because you feel like you are no longer a human. And you become whatever that number is on the back of your outfit. So it's like, it's sad. I mean, they even call you by your number. You know what I'm saying? So that whole thing was like, it was messing me up psychologically.
Yeah.
And so to even know me getting a little taste of it in the county jail. And I remember, I'll share this before we wrap up, but when I was getting my little free phone call, this one dude, they had the little phones on the wall and everybody sitting there trying to get on the phone. And this dude walked up to this other dude and said, man, you need to get off this phone before I bust in your head or whatever. And I was like, he's very aggressive. Can you just wait your turn? That's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, why you want to hit the man? So then the dude, the dude said, he looked on him, he looked at him, cussed him out or whatever, and stayed on the phone. I was like, oh my God. And I'm sitting on the phone. I was like, should I be a mediator and be like, here, you can,
You better stay out of
you can
people's
take my phone?
business.
Yeah. So I sat there and then I said, no, be tough. So then I just started, you take on this other persona,
a different person.
Yeah, it's like this darkness come over you. But then this one dude came up and he was just like, man, y'all need to go ahead and put me in my cell. I killed that fool and blah, 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 blah. Just put me in. I was like, this joker just confessed that he done killed the dude. I said, how did I get up in here? I got this child support. I was in there for child support. How did I end up with these people that's a murderers? I said, it's a different level.
Tell me about it. They don't care where they place you. Right in front of me was a girl serving 30 years and down life. I mean, like,
because they don't have nothing to live for, so it's like you're automatically gonna have tension with them.
And they like to fight. They're gonna say every day. They just want to do the thing. And one more thing before we go. So they would get in trouble all the time, talking about they're gay for the stay and straight at the gate. So that, like, it was.
You said gay for the stay and straight at the gate.
That's what they call, like, the things they talk about. And they're like, they would find a whole new wife or a girlfriend or whatever they find in there, and acting like it's something like. It's out of body experience.
It's out of body.
You can't even make these things up.
Yeah.
You really can't.
Well, listen, I thank you so much, Tamara, for having me on your podcast. Listen, I speak blessings over your podcast. I want this thing to blow up. I want you to gain tons of listeners and rank high on Apple Podcasts. I want this to minister. And you know what would be so awesome? Is if the people in prison get a hold of your podcast and begin to raise your numbers up. Yeah. Wouldn't that be dope to see that?
That would be nice.
You know, the people in prison to start watching it. They be like, well, how are we getting all these listeners? Where is this coming from? And they see it from correctional facilities. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's just like God. You know, God would do something like that to get you double for your trouble. Yeah. And so I just speak blessings and I pray that God blesses the fruit of your labor. And blesses everything that you touch, and I pray that everything you touch prosper. So listen, here's my clarion call. Make sure that y'all subscribe to this podcast. Make sure y'all like it. Make sure you share it. Make sure you leave a comment. Give her words of edification. Let her know how impactful this episode was. Like she told me, this is like one of the first times she ever shared this thing in detail to share this story. And so it was very uncomfortable, but you did an amazing job. You did an amazing job. Hey, I held it together because I was about to break down several times and cry several times. And so, but I'm amazed at your strength. So, so much. I just want to thank you so much for just having me on your podcast.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm really, really honored, you know. Like I was saying to my mom last night, when I think about podcasts, I always just think about you.
Thank
Matter of
you.
fact, the first podcast I ever get tuned into and listen. And here I am. Like
this full circle experience. Look
This
at
is
God.
like
Look at God.
a dream. God know what He's doing, and
Shout
I
out to
tell-
my boy Carl over there,
Yes.
for making this connection or whatnot. Dope dude, amazing
Yes,
guy.
amazing.
So you're in good hands. I'm gonna let you
Thank
know
you.
that now. You're in good hands. So I don't want to close out your own podcast, so you go ahead and close it out.
Well, thank you so much for watching Tea with My Sweet Gratitude. I am your host, Tamara Gordon, and just stay tuned for the amazing show that I'm going to be producing here. So just keep watching.
All right, y'all be blessed, y'all.
And that's it for today's episode with Tea with My Sweet Gratitude. I hope this conversation brings you a sense of peace and hope. And if you find this episode helpful, please subscribe to this podcast and leave a review. Your feedback helps us reach more women in need of healing.